come just for the cash? Will you come for my bangers, my beans and mash?
Don't say anything.
The signs for the truth to come.